Hey, good to see you again, Dylan. Today's topic is on the percussion instruments, percussion family, and we'll go ahead and get started here. You have chat box and whiteboard privileges, and here's a lot of terms that we're going to be looking at today, so see how many you can find in the word search, and then we'll get started here. And go ahead and shoot me a smiley face if you're able to hear me. Fantastic. I'll help you get started here in some of these words. Fantastic. Tell you what, we'll come back to this if we have extra time, but let's go ahead and keep moving ahead. There's kind of some of the answers there. What is an idiophone? That was one of the words, and we're going to find out here. There's different classifications of percussion. An idiophone is, and let me get our pulling tool up here. Okay, so you can select from the pulling tool. A, two stones hitting against one another. B, anything that you can strike something against or hit. C, claves or cymbals, or D, all of the above. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just more of an icebreaker to allow time for students to come. But we can just move ahead because we're going to be looking more specifically at these words anyway. So go ahead and give it a good guess. We haven't necessarily discussed what the definition of idiophone is. So go ahead and give it your best guess. You can Google it if you'd like, or look it up on the PowerPoint if you want. But it's either A, B, C, or D. And we'll show our recording audience how you voted so far. And we have a vote for D, and you are absolutely right. Bravo. So anything that hits something, basically, is an idiophone. So two stones qualifies as an idiophone. Claves are two wood sticks, basically, cymbals. So anything that strikes something. There are two kinds of idiophones. There's pitched and non-pitched idiophones. Here's an example of a non-pitched idiophone, the clave, and you can see the two sticks. They don't necessarily give a pitch, it's just a rhythmic noise. But here, in contrast, is an example of a pitched idiophone, the marimba. And each of these bars represents a note, like on the piano keyboard, and use the mallets. Really good marimba players have multiple mallets in their hands so they can strike multiple notes at the same time. The basic characteristic of a marimba phone is that it has some sort of soft membrane stretched tautly over a frame or other form. When the membrane vibrates, it produces sound. So, idiophones, membranophones. One of the simplest forms of a membranophone is A, maracas, B, a marimba, C, a frame drum, or D, all of the above. And we're going to talk about an example of a frame drum. But a frame drum is like a tambourine, basically. So that gives you an idea. So what do you think? Which of those choices is a membranophone? A, B, C, or D? Frame drum is like a tambourine, basically. And we'll show our recording audience how you voted so far. And we have I vote for C, and you're absolutely right. Bravo again. So here's the tambourine. You can see there's the membrane stretched over it, and the frame is this wooden bar that's wrapped around it that has the little metal pieces that shake and make a different sound. So you can do lots of different kinds of rhythmic noises with a tambourine, even though to us it seems like a rather simplistic instrument. It's actually rather complex. There's another type of membranophone: A, marimba, B, xylophone, C, non-pitched, or D, a body drum. So out of those choices, which of those do you think represents the other membranophone? And you're absolutely right, the body drum. And examples of body drums are kettle drum or timpani, a conga. All of these have membranes stretched over them. Bass drum, bongos. So, very, very good. Oops. Okay, so let me cover up these squares, then we can do a little tic-tac-toe. Alrighty. And let me go ahead and number these. We'll give them A's for rows, oops, numbers for columns, and letters for rows. Oops. Okay, so go ahead and pick a square, any square. And we can go first for tic-tac-toe, and then if you want to do more, we can do more. If you get the answer right, you get an X. If you get it wrong, I get a 0. I must say, often I have hardly gotten zeros in any of these sessions that I've taught, so that's a good thing. Okay, so go ahead, Dylan, pick a square, any square. A1, 2 or 3, B1, 2 or 3. Okay, A1, perfect. A conga drum, is that a membranophone or idiophone? And you can just write M or I, that way you don't have to write out the whole word if you don't want to. Yes, it is a membranophone. Conga drums definitely have a membrane over the top of them. Okay, great. Another square. A2. Okay, perfect. Marimba, membranophone or idiophone? Yes, it's an idiophone. Very, very good. You strike a membranophone, therefore it is an idiophone. Okay, how about another square? A3. What are the two types of membranophones that we talked about? There was two types. And you can look back on the PowerPoint if you want to help remind you of those two things. Frame and body drum, exactly. Very, very good. Alrighty, you have a tic-tac-toe. Congratulations. Do you want to continue the game, or do you want to move ahead? Okay. Fantastic job on that. There's all of our answers. Okay, I have a tiny little quiz that's just for fun. It's more of the same. Who's going to be an expert at all of these. And while you are filling it out, I'm going to put the link to the survey in the chat box window for you. And when you're done with the quiz, you can let me know. Make sure to hit the submit button. And then you can fill out the survey because I'll pass it on to your instructor. The name of today's session was Percussion Instruments. And when you're done with the quiz, you can give me a thumbs up. If you press submit, I'll see it, but if you don't, then I won't see it. Okay, so there we have the results on the whiteboard. Is the tambourine an example of a frame drum? Exactly. The conga drum is an example of a membranophone. Exactly. Is the marimba a pitched idiophone? Very good. Excellent, excellent. So for independent practice, you can look for examples of percussion instruments online and determine whether they are idiophones or membranophones. Journal your results. That's just something for extra credit. Possibly your teacher might give you extra credit, but I would check with them first. Make sure you fill out the survey because your course instructor will take that into account and most likely award you a few points extra credit for attendance. Also, next week our times are changing. We still have another session tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about the evaluation tool that's used for the listening and for the performance evaluations. Then the following week, starting the week of May 5th, we will only have one session a week, and it will be Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully that time works for you. If not, you can always feel free to watch the recordings. But thank you so much for coming. You are free to go unless you have questions about anything.